Genuine questions for the liberals and Democrats who follow me, not the moderates or the conservatives, and I mean genuine question genuinely. This isn't a gotcha, this isn't a rage bait. I have an actual question that I want you to hear me out on, consider, and help fill the gap. By definition, I'm a liberal. By current standards, I'm a moderate, center moderate, in case that context is important. I've seen a lot of rhetoric on social media of liberals kind of like taunting conservatives and, hey, I hope you're getting what you voted for. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of a gotcha do you think you have there? Because people who voted for Donald Trump, which I am not one of them, mind you, but the people who did vote for Donald Trump, what they mainly wanted was border security, fair international trade, reduced inflation, and to counter the violent crime rise and drug problems in the US. That was what they wanted. Now, since Trump has taken office, there has been about a 95% decrease in illegal border crossings, a 14% decrease in violent crimes. Every major player in trade came to the table with Trump's tariffs, and we have better trade, more balanced trade internationally than we've had for about 30 or 40 years, except China. China's the only one that hasn't played nice, but it looks like eventually they will. So that's a work in progress, but going the direction that a Trump supporter would want. Inflation has gone down every month of Trump's presidency, and so on and so forth. Now, all of these things could be seen as negative, and for me, I see a lot of them as negative. When you strong arm and bully international trade, that doesn't necessarily lead to long-term good results, even if you get short-term gains. Some of the cutting in government spending, which is one I forgot to talk about that the Republicans would want, is probably a little too heavy-handed. Some people feel that a lot of violent crime is civil unrest that is justified, and seeing that drop is more of a pacification of the populace than a good sign. The way the border's being handled oftentimes might be seen as inhumane. And lowered inflation is because the focus is on inflation instead of employment, and that's the age-old economic debate of do you focus on unemployment or inflation? And when you focus on inflation, then unemployment gets worse. So, all this to say, I'm not saying that anything that's happening is good or bad, but I am saying that everything that is happening would be unequivocally good from the perspective of someone who voted for Donald Trump, because he is giving them exactly what they wanted. He is fulfilling exactly what they hoped he would. So while you could disagree or dislike what he's doing, and I would probably be in support with you for most of it, I just don't understand how you think it's a gotcha moment to be like, are you happy now? Did you get what you're voting for? Yeah, they did. And they're very happy. I'm not understanding how one would think that the current state of the USA is a bad thing for someone who would have voted for Donald Trump. It is exactly what they wanted. It is promises made, promises kept. This is going to make them love this man even more. People who voted for Donald Trump are not going to be disappointed by any of this. This is what they openly said they wanted. The idea that what's happening is a gotcha moment for Trump supporters just shows the reason that I don't see the Democratic Party coming back anytime soon. I feel like we're going to have a lot of Republican presidents for a while because there has been some sort of complete detachment from reality coming from the Democratic side, which is a bummer because it just means I have no good liberal candidates to vote for. Because when you are so blinded that you can't look across the aisle enough to even understand what the opposition, as you would call it, wants, you're never going to be able to sway anyone. And to have any sort of power, you have to sway the people who are moderate. And you can't sway the people who are moderate if you don't even understand the people on the opposite side of the aisle from you. I think this disgusting, delusional version of partisan practice really showed itself when Trump did his address a few months ago in front of Congress, and you had a kid who was fighting cancer getting honored, and Democrats wouldn't even clap for it just because Trump was involved. That is the quintessential picture of why the Democratic Party is just garbage right now. Both parties are always garbage coming from someone who's a moderate, but the lesser of two evils right now is absolutely the Republican Party because ironically, they have more humanity than the Democrats do right now. But I digress. Main thing is, I want to know the thought process on how did you get what you're voting for as a gotcha moment. Where are you coming from with that?